There's a literal switch in the human body, not figurative, literal switch that we can turn on or off to activate fat burning and weight loss. For most people, that switch is left off for the majority of their life. But we have the ability to turn that switch on at any time. And it's like one of those dimmer switches that we can either turn on a little bit or turn on a lot. As a matter of fact, we had a student, Josh Tobias, who activated this switch in his own body and lost 13.5 pounds in 6 weeks. And more importantly, 5% of his body fat. Josh was able to lose all this weight and fat because he understood the crucial role of the liver. This is an organ often overlooked when it comes to weight loss. See, the liver is a powerhouse of metabolic activity. It manages the body's energy supply by storing glycogen. This is essentially stored carbohydrates. And when the liver is full of glycogen, it sends a signal to the body to store any excess calories and carbs as fat. But here's the real fascinating part. When the liver starts to empty its glycogen stores, even just a little bit, it flips that fat-burning switch on. That means our bodies start to burn fat for energy instead of storing it. Think of it as like that little dimmer switch. We can either turn it on a little bit or turn it on a lot, depending on how much glycogen is actually depleted. Most people are metabolically inflexible. This means that they're really only using one energy source. They may consume far too many carbs every day, so their body never really gets the chance to flip that switch. They eat carbs and then they're converted to glucose in the bloodstream. What's not used immediately for energy is then stored in the liver and the muscles, and when those tanks are full, then everything else is stored as fat. And on the other end of the spectrum, those on strict keto or carnivore diets, they can also be metabolically inflexible, but in the opposite way. Their bodies are only burning fat for fuel. But there's a happy medium, a state of high metabolic flexibility where our bodies can efficiently switch between burning carbs and burning fat. And this flexibility is key for optimal health and energy levels. When we're metabolically flexible, our body adapts easily to different fuel sources, fat and carbs, which can improve our overall health, energy, and well-being. So how do we turn this switch on? How do we maintain and increase our metabolic flexibility and turn the switch on really whenever we want? The answer lies in a simple process known as carb fasting. Carb fasting involves limiting our carb intake certain days of the week. This allows our body to deplete its glycogen stores, so essentially flipping that fat-burning switch on and off. And the frequency of carb fasting can really vary based on our goals. If we have an extreme amount of weight to lose, you can carb fast 4 to 5 days a week. If we want to lose fat and gain more energy, then 2 to 3 days a week can be extremely effective. And if we're in top physical shape, even carb fasting 1 day a week will force our body to use fat stores for energy. So here's a few practical tips to help you get started with carb fasting right now. Number 1, plan your carb fasting days. So choose specific days each week to limit your carb intake. We like to see from 5 to 20 grams. 2 would be to focus on healthy fats and proteins. So these macros will keep you full and really support our metabolism during carb fasting. Number 3, just move and exercise, because this helps deplete the glycogen stores. Even light activities like walking or swimming can make a big difference. Number 4, stay hydrated. Just drinking water will help support the liver function and overall metabolism. 5 would be to sleep well, because adequate sleep is crucial for maintaining metabolic health. So just by understanding and leveraging this fat-burning switch in our liver, by practicing carb fasting and regular movement, we can transform how our body handles energy and fat storage. Yeah, it's not just about eating less or exercising more. It's about knowing when and how to activate this switch.